Again, good morning. The following Zoom session is being recorded and will appear later today on my YouTube channel, Math with Mayo. Therefore, when you participate in the Zoom meeting, if you do not wish for your picture or your name to be made public, please leave the video off and use an alias name. If you have questions during the meeting but do not wish to speak, email me at bmayo@ybcc.edu and I'll respond as soon as I can. All right, today, eventually we're going to go on to section 2.5, but first we have some requests, so we'll take a look at those. This is from section 2.4, part 2, problem number 5. It says, solve the equation for the specified variable 7/8 m minus t equals 9b, and we are to solve it for m. So we're going to isolate the variable term and then isolate the variable. The variable term is the term with m in it, since that's the variable we're trying to solve for. So first of all, we will add t to both sides of the equation. And we get that. Then we're going to multiply both sides by the coefficient of m, which is 8/7. On the left side, the 8 over the 8 reduces to 1/1. The 7 over 7 reduces to 1/1. So we get 1 times m, or just m. On the right side, distributing, let's see here, we get 72/7 b plus 8/7 t. And you could write it that way. Or you could distribute the 8 and leave the 7 in the entire denominator, and then it would look like this, 72b plus 8t all over 7. So either one of those is correct. Any questions about that particular problem? All right, let's take a look at another student's request. This is also from 2.4, part 2, and again, number 5 with some slightly different numbers. 3/4 m minus t equals 7b. Solve this thing for m. So we'll add t to both sides of the equation. 3/4 m equals 7b plus t. We could do this in 2 steps instead of multiplying. Well, no, not going to do that. Not going to do that. Going to do it all in one. So we're going to multiply by 4/3 on both sides. On the left side, the 4's reduce out, the 3's reduce out, all to 1. 1 times m is m. On the right side, we get 28/3 b plus 4/3 t, or we could write it as 28b plus 4t all over 3. Either one of those, whether we distribute the 4/3 or just the 4. Any questions on that one? Okay, next up is number 7, same section. Solve the formula for the specified variable d equals c minus s all over n, and we are to solve this for s. And let's see here. Solving for s, we're going to multiply both sides by n. So we get dn equals c minus s. Okay. Then we're going to subtract c. So we get dn minus c equals negative s. Now things are a little tricky because we need s and not negative s. If we multiply both sides by -1, we get negative dn plus c equals s, or you could write it c minus dn equals s. And so either one of those would be okay. questions there? All right, that takes us to one more, number 13. Oops. Let's try that again. Here we go. Number 13, it says, a horse trots in a circle around its trainer at the end of a 24-foot long rope. Find the area of the circle that is swept out to the nearest square foot. So we have this circle, sort of, and the trainer's standing in the middle. The horse is going around the circumference of the circle. The rope is 24 feet long, and we want to know the area of the circle. Area is pi r squared. In this case, the radius is 24 feet. So the area would be pi times 24 feet squared. And we looked at yesterday how the author tends to use the pi button versus 3.14. So we're going to take pi times 24 squared, and we get 1809.557368, but it says round to the nearest square foot. So that would be right here. The 5 in the next place would round up. So the area would be 1,810 square feet. Any questions about that problem? Okay, that's all the ones that were requested. Does anybody here this morning have any questions you'd like to look at before we go on? Okay, then we'll go on to section 2.5. I want to talk about comparison statements. If I were to say John is 3 years older than Maria, if I decided to call Maria X, what would John be? Well, if John is 3 years older than Maria, and Maria is X, John would be Maria's age plus 3 years. Do you see that? Any questions there? Notice this is a comparison statement. The person at the front is being compared to the person at the end. So in a sense, Maria is the center of the universe for this problem. John is being compared to Maria. Let's take a different statement. John is 3 times as old as Maria. Again, this is a comparison statement. John is being compared to Maria. So Maria is the center of the universe. John is 3 times as old as Maria. So now it would be 3 times X. Any questions about that? All right. Good with those. Let's take Sam and Sydney. Let's see. Sam is 3 more than twice as old as Sydney. Let's see, Sydney. I think that's how you spell Sydney. Sam is 3, I'm going to say 3 years more than twice as old as Sydney. Okay, now things are a little more complicated. But again, who's being compared to? The person at the end of the sentence. Who is compared to Sydney? Sam is. So we've got Sydney and Sam. The person being compared to, the object being compared to, whatever it is it's being compared to, let that be the variable. Sam is 3 years more than twice as old as Sydney. Well, if Sydney is X, twice x would be that, and 3 years more than twice x would be that. We okay with that comparison? All right. Let's talk about integers. Integers are like -6, -5, -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Those are integers. They're positive and negative. Okay. Let's say we wanted 3 consecutive integers, and the first one was going to be -4. Okay. So if -4 is x, the next consecutive integer would be x plus 1. The next consecutive integer would be x plus 2, etc., right? Because integers go up by 1 at a time. So 3 consecutive integers would be x, x plus 1, x plus 2. Questions on that? Okay. Let's say we want 3 consecutive even integers, and the first one is going to be -6. The next consecutive even integer would be 2 more than that, x plus 2. The next consecutive even integer would be x plus 4, because even integers go up by 2s. Any questions there? All right. Let's say we wanted 3 consecutive odd integers. Let's see, we'll take that one. That would be the first one. That would be the second one. That would be the third one. Odd integers go up by 2s. Now, you might say, how can x plus 2 be odd? Well, if x is odd, what's odd plus 2? It's another odd. Odd plus 4 is still another odd, okay? So consecutive integers go up by 1s. Consecutive even or consecutive odd integers go up by 2s. All righty. Let's see here. I'm going to attempt to draw a picture of a problem in the book. We'll see how it goes. We've got this piece of pipe. And let's see here. There's a piece here and a piece here. All right. It says a 17-foot pipe is cut into 3 sections. So the whole thing is 17 feet long. The longest section is 3 times as long as the shortest section, and the middle-sized section is 2 feet longer than the shortest. Okay, I'm going to change my drawing just a little bit to make it a little more accurate in terms of what they're describing, so it's a little more obvious as to which pieces are which. Okay, so the longest one is at the right end, the shortest one is at the left end, in fact, and then we're going to even do this, make it a little bit more accurate here. Okay, so we got the longest end at the right, the shortest end at the left. It says the longest section is 3 times as long as the shortest, and the middle-sized section is 2 feet longer than the shortest. Complete the diagram. So there's 3 pieces. There's 2 comparison statements. In each of the comparison statements, the same piece is the center of the universe. Consider this. The longest section is 3 times as long as the shortest. Who's being compared to? The shortest. And the middle-sized section is 2 feet longer than the shortest. Who's being compared to? The shortest. So we're going to let the shortest piece be the variable. Okay? Now, the longest section is 3 times as long as the shortest. So this would be 3x. The middle-sized section is 2 feet longer than the shortest. So that would be x plus 2. Everybody seeing how that's working? Now, what do we know? We know that x plus 2 plus 3x equals 17 feet. The three pieces added together. So now I can solve this equation for x. On the left side of the equation, combining like terms, 5x plus 2. On the right side of the equation, 17. I subtract 2. 5x equals 15. Whoops. Divide both sides by 5. X equals 3, and that would be 3 feet. So this is 3 feet. This is 3 plus 2, 5 feet. This is 3 times 3, which is 9 feet. 3 plus 5 is 8, plus 9 is 17.
So I have a question.
Yes.
Why is the middle part 6x plus 2 and not 2x?
Okay. Notice the difference here. This one is described as 3 times as long as the shortest piece, 3 times as long. But the middle piece, it says, is 2 feet longer. It doesn't say twice as long, but 2 feet longer than the shortest. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, good, good. Let's see here. Any other questions on this example? All right. This says, if x represents an integer, write an expression for the next largest integer. So if the first one is x, the next one would be x plus 1. It didn't say odds or evens. It said the next consecutive integer. All right. If x represents an odd integer, let's see, this is just integer, and this is odd integer. Basically, we're doing the same thing I just took you through, but this is out of the book. If x represents an odd integer, write an expression for the next largest odd integer. That would be x plus 2. And then even. If x is an even integer, write expressions for the next 2 largest even integers. That would be x plus 2 and x plus 4. Okay. So again, if you've got consecutive integers, they go up by 1. Consecutive evens go up by 2s. Consecutive odds also go up by 2s. Okay, let's see here. It says the robotic arm will extend a total distance of 18 feet. Find the length of each section. So let me draw a picture of this robotic arm here. Okay. So we've got this piece. And then this piece. And that piece. And they tell us this piece is x feet long. This piece is x plus 4 feet long. And this piece is x minus 1 feet long. Okay. The robotic arm will extend a total distance of 18 feet. So all of this is 18 feet. All right. Find the length of each section. So our equation would be x plus 4 plus x minus 1 equals 18 feet. And these are all in units of feet, which means x plus 4 plus x minus 1 equals 18 feet. Combining like terms, x plus x is 3x. 4 minus 1 is 3. So 3x plus 3 equals 18. Solving for x, subtract 3 from both sides. 3x equals 15. Divide both sides by 3, x equals 5, and that would be feet. So this is 5 feet. This is x plus 4. 5 plus 4 is 9 feet. And this is x minus 1. 5 minus 1 is 4 feet. So 9 feet, 5 feet, 9 feet, and 4 feet would be the length of the 3 pieces. And notice 5 plus 9 is 14 plus 4 is 18. So they add up to 18 feet. Any questions there? All right, here comes another problem. It says touring, as in taking a tour. A rock group plans to travel for a total of 38 weeks, making 3 concert stops. They will be in Japan for 4 more weeks than they will be in Australia. Their stay in Sweden will be 2 weeks shorter than that in Australia. How many weeks will they be in each country? Okay, so we've got Japan and Australia. Let's see here. Can't spell Australia. And Sweden. Well, who are we going to call X? Who's being compared to? Let's look at it again. It says they will be in Japan for 4 more weeks than they will be in Australia. Their stay in Sweden will be 2 weeks shorter than that of Australia. Who's the center of the universe? Australia. I can read lips. Australia. All right. So they will be in Japan 4 more weeks. So this would be X plus 4. And their stay in Sweden will be 2 weeks shorter than that of Australia. Okay. So 4 more, we add 4. 2 weeks shorter, we take away 2. All right. The beginning of the problem said the rock group plans to travel for a total of 38 weeks. So total of 38 weeks. So our equation becomes X plus 4 plus X minus 2 equals a total of 38 weeks. Combining like terms, X plus X is 3X. 4 minus 2 is plus 2. So 3X plus 2 equals 38. Subtract 2 from both sides. 3X equals 36. Divide both sides by 3. X equals 12. So if X equals 12, Australia is 12 weeks. Japan is 12 plus 4, which is 16 weeks. And Sweden is 12 minus 2, which is 10 weeks. So there's the length of each stay. Any questions here? Nope. All right. New problem. This says waste disposal. 2 tanks hold a total of 45 gallons of a toxic solvent. 1 tank holds 6 gallons more than twice the amount in the other. How many gallons does each tank hold? All right, so we've got a total of 45 gallons. And we have 1 tank and the other. Okay. 2 tanks hold a total of 45 gallons of a toxic solvent. 1 tank holds 6 gallons more than twice the amount in the other. 1 tank holds blah, 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 blah to the other. Who's the center of the universe? The other, right? Blah, 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 right? Okay. So 1 tank holds 6 gallons more than twice the other. If the other is X, twice the other would be 2X. 6 gallons more would be 2X plus 6. Okay, so 6 gallons more than twice the other. Now, if we add the two tanks together, we should, whoops, let's do that correctly. If we add the two tanks together, we should get the total of the two tanks. Combining like terms, 3x plus 6 equals 45. Subtracting 6 from both sides of the equation, 3x equals 39. Divide both sides of the equation by 3, x equals 13. If x is 13, the other tank is 13 gallons. 2x plus 6 would be 2 times 13 plus 6, which is 26 plus 6, which is 32 gallons. Check our work. 13 gallons plus 32 gallons equals 45 gallons, so it checks. All righty. Let's see here. We good to go on? This says listing price. At what price should a home be listed if the owner wants to make $567,000 on its sale after paying a 5.5% real estate commission? So the question is, what price should it sell for? So what sale price? Let's call that X. The owner wants to make $567,000 on the sale after paying a 5.5% real estate commission. Okay. So the sale price has to equal $567,000 plus 5.5% commission. Well, 5.5% commission. Commission would be on the selling price, right? So this would be 5.5% of the selling price. Does that make sense? So in fact, our equation should look like this. We're going to convert the 5.5% into a decimal number. So again, we're going to do what? We're going to move the decimal point 2 places to the left and drop the percent sign. Are we okay with what I've got there? So now let's get all the x's together. So I'm going to subtract 0.055x from both sides. And so let's see, x is like 1x, right? So I've got what? 1 minus 0.055. So that's going to be 0.945x equals $567,000. Still with me? I took 1x minus 0.055x. Okay. Now I'm going to divide both sides by the coefficient of x. So I take 567,000 divided by 0.945, and x is $600,000. So that would be the selling price of the house. I used to think, wow, that's an expensive house, but anymore, that's not that. I mean, it's still an expensive house, but housing prices have gotten ridiculous, haven't they? Ah, well. I'm tempted to sell my house and just move into a tent. I'll get a really nice tent with all that money. I'll have hot and cold running dirt in my tent. Or maybe I could just move into the backyard and sell the house and they have to let me stay there. Okay, let's see here. Ronaldo of Brazil, so his name's Ronaldo, and Gerd Mueller of Germany rank 1 and 2 respectively, with the most goals scored in World Cup play. So we're talking about soccer or football, as they call it. The number of goals Ronaldo and Mueller have scored are consecutive integers that total 29. Okay, so we've got, let's see, that's not right. Got Ronaldo and Mueller. Okay, the number of goals that Ronaldo and Mueller have scored are consecutive integers that total 29. Now, I need to tell you that the first time I did this problem, I got it wrong, and I'm going to show you the mistake I made. Okay, so I said, oh, if they're consecutive integers, then Ronaldo is X and Mueller is X plus 1. Okay, they're consecutive integers that total 29. So therefore, X plus 1 equals 29. 2X plus 1 equals 29. 2X equals 28. X equals 14. So Ronaldo's 14 and Mueller's 14 plus 1 is 15. Turns out I'm wrong. And here's the thing I missed. It said Ronaldo of Brazil and Gerd Mueller of Germany rank 1 and 2 respectively. Who would rank number 1? The one that scored the most goals, right? So in labeling things, I got to think this through and think, oh, if Ronaldo's, he's going to have more than Mueller. You see what I'm saying? So I got my answers backwards because I didn't catch that little bit at the beginning of the problem. Anyway, just wanted to share that with you in case any of you thought I was perfect. All right. This one says, dictionaries. The definitions of the words job, job and join are on back-to-back pages in a dictionary, okay? If the sum of these pages is 1,411, on what page can the definition of job be found? All right, so consecutive pages would be like consecutive positive integers, right? One after the other. So the first page would be X, the second page would be X plus 1, okay? So 2X plus 1 equals the total number, let's see, the sum of the pages numbers is 1,411. So subtract 1, divide by 2, 705. So this would be 705 and this would be 706. On what page can the definition of job be found? Page 705, right? Because job would come in front of join. I guess this one's tricky because you have to know what alphabetical order is in a dictionary, right? And this is supposed to be a math class, so how unfair is that? All right, let's see here. This says locks. The three numbers of the combination for a lock are consecutive integers. So X, X plus 1, X plus 2, consecutive integers. Their sum is 81. So X plus 1 plus X plus 2 is 81. So X plus X plus X, 3X plus 1 plus 2, 3 equals 81. Okay. Subtract 3 from both sides. 3X equals 78. Divide by 3, X equals 26. So this would be 26, 27, and 28. So the three numbers of the combination, 26, 27, 28. That would be a nice, easy combination to remember. Okay. We good to go on that one? All right. Swimming pools. The seawater Orthlib, however you say that, pool in Casablanca, Morocco, is the largest swimming pool in the world. At least it was at the time this book was printed. With a perimeter of 1,110 meters, this rectangular shaped pool is 30 meters longer than 6 times its width. Find its dimensions. I can still remember the first time I did this problem in classroom. And while I was doing it, a student looked up the pool on the internet. Turns out it's not exactly a rectangle, but you know, that's the disadvantage of modern technology. We'll assume it's a rectangle, okay? So we've got this rectangular swimming pool. It says the perimeter is 1,110 meters. So that's the distance all around it. And this rectangular shaped pool is 30 meters longer than 6 times its width. So let's call this the length and this the width, okay? It says it's 30 meters longer than 6 times the width. So who's X? The length or the width? Who's at the end of the sentence? The width. The length is being compared to the width. The length 30 meters longer than 6 times the width. So if the width is X, the length is 30 meters longer than 6 times the width. So 6X plus 30. 30 more than 6X. You okay with that? All right. Now, we know that the perimeter is 1,110 meters. We know the length is 6X plus 30 and the width is X. The formula for the perimeter of a rectangle is the perimeter is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. So now we can make substitutions. In the place of the perimeter, we'll put 1,110. In the place of 2L, we'll put 2 times the quantity 6X plus 30. In the place of 2W, we'll put 2 times X. Okay. Any questions yet? Oh, all right. So 1,110 equals distributing 12X plus 60 plus 2X. 1,110 equals 14X plus 60. I'm going to subtract 60 from both sides of the equation. So 1,050 equals 14X. 1,110 minus 60. Divide both sides by 14. Let's see here. 1,050 divided by 14 comes out to 75, and that's 75 m or meters. And let's see, we're supposed to do what? Find its dimensions. So the width is 75 meters. The length is 6 times 75. So 6 times 75 plus 30, which is 480 meters. Let's check our work. If that's true, then 1,110 equals 2 times 480 plus 2 times 75. Let's see. 2 times 480 plus 2 times 75 is 1,110. Hooray, it checks. And let's see here. We've got one more I'm going to do here. This says Clothesline. A pair of damp jeans are hung in the middle of a clothesline to dry. Find X, the angle that the clothesline makes with the horizontal. Okay, so let's see if I can draw a picture of, let's see, we've got the ground and we've got this pole and this pole, and there's this clothesline and this pair of pants that are hanging there. And again, now we know why I'm not teaching art. And we're told that this angle is 158 degrees, and this is angle X. Okay, I know. All right, so I got this pair of pants hanging. So what we've got in this picture is a triangle. Okay, right here, we've got this triangle. Now, it said that the pair of pants is hanging in the middle of the clothesline. So what we have here is what's known as an isosceles triangle. That means that two of the sides are equal length. We'll call this side 1 and side 2. Those are the same length, which means that these two angles are the same. The angle we're supposed to find, X on the left, would be the same as the angle on the right. The other piece of information that we need is that the sum of the three angles of a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So that means X plus 158 equals 180. 2x plus 158 equals 180. Combining like terms. Subtract 158 from both sides, 2x equals 22. Divide by 2, x equals 11. And that would be 11 degrees. So find X, the angle a clothesline makes with the horizontal, that is 11 degrees. Now, to do this problem, you needed to know that an isosceles triangle had two equal sides, consequently two equal angles, and that the sum of the three angles of a triangle always adds up to 180 degrees. Here's how I remember that, okay? If you have a rectangle, it has four angles that are all right angles, right? Correct. Perpendicular right angles. A right angle is 90 degrees. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times 90 is 360 degrees. So the four interior angles of a rectangle are 360 degrees. Well, what does that have to do with anything? Well, if you cut that rectangle in half and make a triangle, wouldn't you have half of the 360? And there's your 180. That's kind of a long way about going about it, but you know, you think about a right angle is 90 degrees, a square or rectangle has four of those, 360, half of that. Okay, that is it for today. So I will be back at 1:15 with an office hour. So your assignment tonight is you've got this, what, 2.5, and I'm going to stop the recording.